What's up? I'm B and welcome to my channel. Today, it's different. I am filming this in my bedroom because I'm on my lunch break. I can't unplug all of my work stuff to plug in my filming stuff, so we're making do with what we have. We're going to be talking about Kacia Fitzgerald today and kind of the idea of people who got their start in MLMs branching out into personal development or coaching of some kind, and how that past and how they found success can impact the messages that they put out to their audience. So, what does Kacia currently do? She produces content focused on encouragement, empowerment, going for the things that you want. She also has courses and masterminds that are meant to help you create, grow, and scale your own podcast. And she got her following, her start, as a coach in BEACHBODY. She worked in BEACHBODY from 2014 to 2019, according to her LinkedIn. And in January 2020, she officially launched her company called She Goes, where all of those podcast courses fall under. Now, it wasn't like a straight jump. I believe she created Empower Her the year before that, maybe 2018, 2019. And that's when she started podcasting. And then She Goes is where her company is at now with all the courses. And she used to have something called The Collective. And there's a whole community over there. All that. Now, back in 2014, Kacia was working as a technical recruiter for Google. Literally had a corporate career, and she started BEACHBODY on the side. But according to her, within 14 months of starting BEACHBODY, her income had surpassed her salary there, and she was earning six figures through BEACHBODY and had a team of over 2,500 members, which is massive. So, just massive. Think about that. Think about recruiting that many people, or recruiting an amount of people who were then able to recruit even more people and having that many people under you. It's wild to me. So that's kind of her backstory, how she got started. She's no longer in BEACHBODY, obviously. Like I've said, her main focus right now is empowerment and helping people create and grow their podcasts, which is great. And honestly, I think Kacia seems like a really nice, energetic, fun person. And I hope that she was a nice upline in BEACHBODY. I hope she wasn't super harsh or strict. That's just my hope, because I do think that she seems like a really nice person. There are a few things I've noticed that I want to talk about. So her Instagram posts are like the classic boss babe Instagram posts. You know, she has the long captions where it's drawing you in with the story and maybe throwing out an insecurity of hers and how she overcame it and being like, now what can you do in order to overcome that same insecurity? Or recycling a lot of the same captions. I know I've seen the same one several times because I follow her on Instagram. And so over months of following her, I've seen those same captions pop up. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. It's just interesting to me that this is something I noticed from a lot of people who are either in MLMs, were in MLMs, or are business coaches who cater to people in multi-level marketing companies or network marketing companies. As far as her podcast goes, I do not listen to every episode. I've listened to a few and I have mixed feelings because I feel like they're good for what they are. They're supposed to be these pump up sessions and get you amped, get you excited. You know, she asks you what can you do to win the day? And I think that that's a great question. If you wake up every day and you say, what's one thing I can do today to make me feel like I've won? Or what's one thing I can do today to feel accomplished, or that moves me a little bit closer towards my goal? I think that that's a totally great question to ask yourself. But I feel like a lot of what she puts out is very surface level. So if you're just looking for a pump up session, you know what you need to do, but you're feeling down in the dumps and you want somebody to get in there, get in your ear and make you feel good about yourself and make you feel like you can do that thing, this would probably be a great podcast for you. But for me, it doesn't suit the needs of where I'm at right now. All that is to say, her podcast is not specifically about network marketing, because I have this conundrum in my head of how do I reconcile support with somebody who used to be in a network marketing company, found success, left, and does something else now, when that something else is either like business coaching or manifestation coaching, positivity, lifestyle advice, stuff like that, because I feel like a lot of the toxic things that they learned in their MLM are still with them. They're what they still carry in their new content and what they give to their subscribers or their followers. And so I always like to look at, just because somebody was in a network marketing company doesn't mean they're like a bad person. It doesn't mean that they have the sole purpose and intent of taking advantage of every person they can. It literally doesn't. But when you gain success in that way, and then you use that success that you gained to target other people who are struggling in an MLM and tell them like, oh, well, just listen to my lifestyle advice or listen to my coaching advice and you'll be good, you'll be successful. That's what I don't like. So if somebody was in like Beachbody, they left, they said, yeah, network marketing, it was fine for me. I did well, but I realized that it wasn't sustainable and it was predatory. And so that's not for me. I don't support MLMs anymore. Obviously, that's going to be one thing. Kacia, however, left Beachbody, but still does a lot of targeting of people who are in MLMs and a lot of content geared towards those people. And that's what I want to talk about today. So this is Kacia's website, and as we can see, she has a 2021 network marketing mindset workshop. And the caption on it is, "Girl, it's time to do the damn thing." Very clearly, she has not shied away. She has not come to the realization that MLMs are not sustainable, that they're predatory, that the majority of people who are in them either do not make any money or end up losing money. She is still in full support of MLMs. With all that being said, though, I do want to take a look at this network marketing workshop because there's just some interesting things I want to talk about, some interesting tactics and phrasing, and, picture it this way, that I'm just like, wow, that's a lot. So let's get into it.
I'm going to hit record and we're going to get this party started. You guys, I love this chat too. People are pumped tonight. So I'm really excited about the content that we're going to share tonight. I want to hopefully have you leave this call with like a fire under your booty, kind of wanted to do like a backflip in the middle of the street, or just like get out of your own way and build the business that you love, right? So I'm going to share my slides and we're just going to dive right into the juice, okay? So first things first, let's talk about a little bit about my backstory just to kind of set the stage here, and then we'll get this party started. All right, a little bit of background about me. If you don't know, my backstory is a little wonky, okay? So I've been all over the place, and I would love to hear, like, as we're kind of going through this, I want to just hear kind of your perspective, where you guys are at in terms of your stage in your business, but also if you're connecting with anything that I'm saying, like, I'm talking to all of you guys, but like, I want to hear what's going on, okay? So essentially, I started out with this like gut feeling that I wanted more. And fill me in, drop in the chat if you have that feeling in your stomach where you're just like, I know that I want more. I don't know exactly maybe what more is. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to build a life that I'm obsessed with. I'm in this stage of wanting more.
I feel like a lot of us can relate to that. It's like we wake up and either you go to school or you are a stay-at-home parent or you get the kids wherever they need to go and then you go to work all day, and it's like just this constant cycle of like bills and budgeting and is there enough money here for this or for that, and oh my gosh, I just need a vacation. There's got to be something more. There has to be more. And so I think anybody can relate to that. You hear this and you're like, yep, that's me. That is me. There's something more than this.
Drop in the chat if that's you. So here's the thing. I had a corporate job where I was working as an IT project manager. And at the time it was like, I was checking on the boxes. I was like, I got the career path. I was climbing the corporate ladder. I actually had really great managers, really great career trajectory. But I had this like feeling in my gut that I was like, I just want something more. And not in terms of like more as in, being an entrepreneur or building a business means it's more than something else, but more in line with what I actually wanted in my life. And so I decided to start a network marketing business on the side of my full-time corporate job.
Join a network marketing business.
And that was back in January of 2014. So I was watching the chat. Some of you guys have been doing this for a really long time. Some of you guys have, just kicked off your network marketing journey. And for me, this started back in January of 2014. So I started building it on the side, and I was working my full-time corporate job. And I didn't really have the intention that this was going to be like a full-time thing for me. I just knew that I had a gut feeling I wanted more, and I thought maybe other people could connect with that feeling. Turns out I got really obsessed with the business that I was building, and I ended up leaving the corporate world in April of 2015. So I started it on the side in January of 2014. I ended up leaving the corporate world altogether in April of 2015. And my last corporate job was actually working at Google in corporate recruiting. My now fiance and I were living in downtown New York City. I was building my business while working like a crazy corporate job and just trying to figure it all out. So when I did leave the corporate world, it was because my business had surpassed my full-time corporate income. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for this. And some of you guys will be able to connect with this feeling, where I actually, I left the corporate world. I was building this business. I was like getting to speak on all of these stages to talk about network marketing. I was making more income than I thought that I could ever be making. But then in October of 2018, I got this gut feeling again that I wanted more. And again, I didn't know what more was. So I decided to start a podcast on the side of building my network marketing business. I thought, you know what? I'm going to take myself on a personal growth journey, and I'm going to share what I'm learning in real time. I'm going to cultivate community around this so that I can then figure out what else I want to do and bring people along on the journey. And that podcast, starting the podcast and building a personal brand outside of just network marketing was huge for me and really just opened my eyes to the potential of all of the things that you can do and all of the skills that you learn in your network marketing business that can serve you and other things that you're going to do that you haven't even thought of yet, right? So I started Empower Her in November of 2018, and then I launched my new company, Shiga.
It's one of those things where it's like, that's great. I am so glad that it worked out for you, that within that like year and a half, you were able to surpass your corporate salary, that you were making more money than you ever thought was possible, and you got to go for more and you had that freedom. And like, I'm happy for her. I don't want bad things for anybody, but how many women is this actually possible for? Or how many people is this actually possible for? How realistic is this for all the people in the chat of this workshop? How many of them are actually going to get to that level? Not very many. Not in 2021. I don't know. I saw a video where a girl was like, look, it's 2021. If you're dumb enough to join a network marketing company without even doing any research, that's on you. And on the one hand, I get it. Like, if you're going to spend your money on something and like invest your time and energy and cash into it, you should probably do some digging. But have you ever been so desperate to get out of a bad situation that you were willing to do almost anything for it? That you thought, this sounds crazy, but maybe I can do it. Maybe I can be that person. I know a lot of people fail. I know a lot of people do, but the person who's recruiting me said that they just didn't care. They just weren't trying hard enough. I'll try. I'll do anything. And so having that like false hope of what your future could look like and running with it just makes me sad to think about those people who think this is the answer to their problems, and knowing that for so many of them, it will just bring, not to be dramatic, but more destruction. It'll bring more debt. It'll bring more unhappiness, more burnout, more frustration, more feelings of rejection. It makes me very sad for the people watching this.
In January of 2020. And safe to say, this has been a curveball, and now we've got an awesome personal development community that I'll mention at the end, and a podcasting course, and just all of these cool things that have come from it. But it came from really leaning into network marketing and building these skills and building the confidence that comes from building a business like this, right? So you guys are in the right place right now. Whether it is that you already know the other things that you're going to want to do in addition, or you're just trying to freaking figure it out, keep in mind, you don't know what's coming next. You have no idea, but while you're here, make it count. Lean in, right? Get excited. And honestly, when is the last time that you asked yourself, how can this be more fun? How can I have some freaking fun while I'm here? I want to teach you some things that will be practical to like keep your mindset in the game. But truly, how can you get excited about this business that you're building, right? Because this is a really cool opportunity, an opportunity that has changed the entire trajectory of my life. And I know for so many of you guys, you can connect with this, right? So you don't know what's coming next. Success is not linear. We know that, but like sometimes we forget it, right? We like think it's gonna be like, dude, crushing it, but it's really like all over the place. So buckle on up, girl.
And you can see why people would listen to her and why people would like her and want to be like her. She is loud and fun and energetic and exciting and excitable and makes you probably feel pumped up while you're listening to her. You can see why people would, one, want to join her team, would want to be under her on Beachbody, and would still keep listening to her into network marketing coaching to this day. Not that she does network marketing coaching, but like the workshops and stuff. So you can see why people would buy into her as a person and as an expert in the area.
You're about to learn so much about yourself in this type of a business. So we're going to dive in. Now, here's the thing. You guys might be familiar. Drop in the chat if you have read the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. If you haven't, I feel like it's one of the best books for like goal setting in general, but also, especially if you're in network marketing, because it really teaches you that the tiny little things that are easy to do are also easy not to do, but we have to keep doing them, especially when you're in a business like this, right? Where it just takes that consistency over time. So I really want to ask you, like, are you interested in doing this, or are you committed to doing this? And I want to preface that because sometimes we set goals in a business like this because we think they're the goals that we should want, right? Maybe your upline wants that goal for you, or someone that started the business at the same time as you hit that goal or hit that rank or hit that milestone. And it's like, oh wait, I should want that goal, right? I should go for that goal because she's going for that goal. The goal has to feel right to you. And why I love this, and this little like diagram I'm going to break down for you, that Darren Hardy talks about in his book, is because it's really powerful to remind you that it matters why you're showing up, which means you got to make sure that your goals actually matter to you. Otherwise, you're just going to throw in the towel when it gets hard, right? Or when Sally Sue 293 is like, oh, you have a network marketing business. And you're like, yeah, I do, girl. Yes, I do. So here's the analogy, if you haven't heard it. 2 buildings, okay? Let's just say, for sake of this.
So underneath it, where it says, are you interested or are you committed, it says, if you have a compelling reason to do something, you'll stay after it. And I think that's applicable to anything. I mean, like say you wanted to start a YouTube channel. Are you interested in starting one, or are you committed? If you want it to be something where you can make a little extra money every month, or maybe eventually you want it to replace whatever you're doing now, or maybe, whatever. You want a successful YouTube channel, whatever that means to you. There's a difference between being interested in having that and then actually committing to making whatever kind of content you want to make, editing or live streaming, getting it posted, stuff like that. So yeah, that's fair. Are you interested or are you committed? The goal and the actions that you have to take to achieve that goal do need to line up with something you are actually passionate about and willing to commit to.
Example, downtown New York City, I threw in a couple cabs for you, okay? 2 buildings. Above those 2 buildings, over crazy traffic, is a tightrope. Now, if I were to say to you, hey girl, I'm going to pay you $20 to walk across that tightrope and go to the other building over crazy traffic. Drop in the chat if you would, for $20, unless we got some crazy people on here, for $20, would you go across that? No. Okay, everybody, no way in hell for $20. Okay, right? I love this chat squad. You guys are on. Let's go. What about if on the right building, right? So we're looking at these 2 buildings. The right side is your child or your niece, and they're trapped in the building. And unless you go across that tightrope, they are going to die. Are you going in the building if your child's going to die over there? Yep, of course.
I want to know if this is actually in the book, The Compound Effect, if like this is the exact example used or if she's coming up with this, but the thought of like committing to network marketing and the thought of literally saving your child's life or a child's life it's just humorous to me. Like, oh yes, those are equal comparisons. For sure.
Of course. What about if the building's on fire, but your child's in there? You gonna go? You're still gonna go. Across the tightrope.
What if your child's burning up?
Crazy traffic, all the cabs honking. They don't care about pedestrians. You're gonna go. Because it matters to you. So I want to ask you, how can you raise the necessity to show up in this business? And I don't mean because this business has to be your full-time job ever. I don't mean you need to hit a certain rank in your business. I don't mean that you need to make X amount of dollars in your business or do what your upline did or what that sister coach or that sister, partner in their business did, whatever. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. How are you going to raise the necessity for you to show up for your business, for whatever the goals are? You got to think about why this actually matters to you, because you can have all the tools in your toolbox, all the tactical things, but who cares if you don't know why you're doing this? So having this question in the back of your head, like, how can I raise the necessity to show up? How can I make this more, not just about me, but about other people that are going to benefit as a byproduct? Keeping that in the back of your head, right? You're not going to do it for $20. You're not going to do it for $100, but you're going to do it when it feels tied to something that actually matters to you, when it feels tied to a future that you can give to your kids, a life that you've always wanted, that situation that you can get your significant other out of because of the business that you're building. One of the reasons why I showed up to build a business while working a full-time corporate job, my fiance was in dental school at NYU, which is really freaking expensive. And we lived in downtown New York City. And I was like, I don't want him to be stressed. I want him to get to chase his dreams. I'll go build this business so I can support both of us. Let's freaking go. It was like he was in that building, right? I'm like, I'll show up for him too, right? So you got to know why you're doing this.
It's tough because I get it. I get this. And this is a very basic part of goal setting. If you want to accomplish something, it's like, well, why? It's like, if you're not doing it now, you need a reason to do it. If you're not doing something and there's something you want to do, you need a reason to change. There needs to be something that spurs you to take action into doing whatever it is you need to do to accomplish that goal. And if it were easy, you would probably already be doing it. But you need something that's going to motivate you. And so I get that. But using it to swindle people into sticking with network marketing, using it to find their pain point is very manipulative, especially with somebody at her level. She has to know how many people fail, how many people joined her downline and didn't make money and complained and said, hey, y'all promised me this and now it's not happening. What's up? She has to know. As somebody who was in that business for as long as she was, she's got to know. And at this point, I'm going to take a quick pause because I have to go to work. So I'll see you in a few hours or a few days, but for you, it'll just be a second. And I'm back. It's a different day, different angle. I realized filming with my computer on my bed was not working because a little bit of a motion sickness was happening. So this is what it is. Let's get back into this.
Matters to you, in addition to you. Now, maybe you're like, all right, Kash, I hear you, but what is the Pillsbury Doughboy and Beyonce? If you're looking at the screen, what's going on? Okay, maybe you don't believe in yourself. Right now. And we all have those feelings. Anyone who has seen success in a business like this, you absolutely doubt yourself from time to time. Duh, right? But how can we actually really tap into this? The identity of the fact that we're not always going to show up and feel really confident, but we can always do the best that we can to control our actual thoughts. So I want to tell you that I don't think it's possible, although we try, to go from this is the Pillsbury Doughboy. When you have a weekend where you eat a lot of snacks and you drink a bunch of spicy margaritas and they're like, oh, do you want an extra refill of chips? And you get the extra refill of chips and you're eating them and you're like, yeah, the guac is extra. I'm so mad. I'm eating this, whatever. You just feel like a busted can of biscuits after a weekend like that, right? And you're just like, bleh. I cannot get myself mentally to go from I feel like a busted can of biscuits to I feel like Beyonce. That thought is too big of a leap, right? And I think so often we try and do this. We try and, everybody in the chat loves their spicy margs, let's go, okay? But truly.
I mean, I love a good spicy marg too.
We try and do this, where we try and say, you know what? I'm brand new at this business. I'm going to crush this business. I'm going to rock. I'm going to sign up all these people. I'm going to build these dreams. Especially in a new year, we get so freaking pumped. But we actually don't believe what we're saying. So why are we saying it? Instead, think about this like you're driving a stick shift car, okay? So right now, if you are in...
That kind of, that question makes me laugh a little bit because it's oh, we say all these things, but we don't believe it, so why do we say it? It's kind of like when uplines say anybody can do this, anybody can be successful. It's just 15 minutes a day from your phone. But then you get in and they're like, of course it's hard work. Anything, worth having, you have to work hard for, whatever. It's like you have to be committed. So if we don't believe these things, why do we say them?
In the reverse settings, right? You're saying negative things about how you're showing up in your business. You're like, oh, I suck at this. I'm never going to get there. This is so frustrating. Like you're saying these negative things. You can't go from negative, like busted can of biscuits, straight into Beyonce on the freeway, right? Just think about that. You can't do that. You're not going to believe that it's possible. So how can we pop it into neutral first? How can you train your brain and everything that you're doing in your life, but also in your business to pop back into that neutral, right? Instead of trying to go from 0 to nothing, because that's really, really hard. I don't want you to have any glimmers of this doubt that sticks around for too long simply because you tried to upgrade your thought too quickly. So when you feel that your heart's pounding, right? Instead of saying, I'm scared, right? Try, my heart's in it, right? Because excited, going from I'm scared, holy crap, I'm so scared to ask this person to join my team. I'm so scared to do this, holy crap, I'm sweating in weird places. Instead, maybe it doesn't feel realistic for you to go to I'm excited, even though everyone and their cousin is telling you to say you're excited. You're like, I'm not excited, I'm freaking scared. So how can we switch from, okay, my heart's racing, all right, I'm in it, I care about this, let's go.
The way that she's talking, just, like, it bugs me so much because it has that inflection, that how can we go from this negative thought, this thought that does not feel good, that might be your first thought of, my heart is pounding and I'm scared. How can we shift it to instead say, my heart is in this. I feel something for this. Like, she has that inflection that makes you listen, that makes you be like, wow, she's saying something very powerful. And sure, yes, of course, controlling your mindset and shifting the way you think about things in order to bring about a better result or to reframe the way that you're thinking about it so that way you can be productive. That is important. But bringing it back to the fact that this is for multi-level marketing. It's a bummer, dude.
That's bumping into that neutral before you actually go to this Beyonce, right? It's going from busted can of biscuits to I'm working on myself to Beyonce, okay? It's going from I suck to I'm learning and I'm awesome, right? So how can you keep that in mind as you're moving through your business? Super important. Now, remember, just like anything, confidence builds credibility and confidence. And it builds credibility and confidence when you're consistent. So what I mean by that is I've talked about this on the podcast, some of you guys might have heard me say this, is think of your confidence like you've got a bucket. And every single day that you show up and you keep a promise to yourself, you're putting a deposit into that bucket, okay? Which means if you are not setting goals in your business, if you don't know what you're working towards, it's really difficult for you to measure what do I need to do today to show up and keep a promise to myself and start to build up that confidence, right? What do I need to do to move the needle forward? Because confidence is so freaking important in a business like this. It's important in your life. But it's like, how can I tee myself up today to keep a promise to myself to do a tiny little thing that's easy to do, but is also easy not to do? How can I tee myself up to understand that part of the goal with building a business like this is literally just to get more confidence, right? You're going to feel nervous when you first start. You're going to doubt yourself from time to time, but every single time that you keep showing up, it gets easier. Not because you won't deal with challenges, but because you believe in your ability to figure them out. But that comes from confidence, literally just putting your reps in. And remembering that it takes sometimes people a while to catch on. Meaning they've got to see you continuously show up. Maybe they've seen you do something in the past. Maybe they've seen you go in and out of this. So not only is this consistency that you're, showing up to your business in going to help you build confidence, but it's also going to help you build credibility with people externally. They need to know that they can trust you. And it's this meter that happens in network marketing or any business, right? Where first they have to know you, meaning they have to know that you actually have a business that they can join. You have to actually...
I have like a million thoughts. Oh my God. I have like a million thoughts running through my head and I need to get them out because otherwise I'm just going to keep blanking. it's interesting because she says, like, the things that are easy to do are also the things that are easy not to do, which is so true. And that's why it's frustrating, because they give these like nuggets of truth and these nuggets of things that are good and should be applied to legitimate things that you are trying to do instead of MLMs. I've been reading this book. It's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. I have been trying to read it for over a year. I like reading. Yeah. Okay, the past year's been a little chaotic, blah, 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 whatever. But I've been trying to read it since before we had the kids. Okay? So they're not an excuse, like custody isn't an excuse, dealing with the foster care system, nothing. I have been trying to read this book for over a year now, and I can't seem to do it because it challenges my beliefs. It makes me have to change the way I think about things and like consider things differently if I want to buy into what is being said in the book. And I would like to do that, but I have to confront those things, and I have to like deal with hearing something that doesn't resonate because of things I've told myself in the past, if that makes sense. And so I like the book. I want to finish the book. I keep saying, oh, I really got to finish that. I really got to finish that. I got to finish it before I start another book. In the meanwhile, going through plenty of other books that are far more like relaxing. I read a book about hygge, which is like the Danish term for, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, it's the goal, basically, where it's like everything should be hygge. Everything should feel like, you know, a night around a cozy fire with your best friends where everything is just great. Everybody comes together, brings food, brings snacks, brings drinks. There's no heavy topics of conversation. Like, you know that feeling that you get when you're in that situation? That's what everything in life, like you should bring elements of that into everything. Whatever. It was a great book. It was so cozy and lovely. But I read that book in a day. Happy Pocket Full of Money has taken me forever. And so I've started over the past few weeks just saying I need to read 5 minutes every day. I need to read 5 minutes of this book every day until I'm done, and then I'll pick a different book and read 5 minutes of that. And it's one of those things where I told myself to do that, and it's easy for sure to say, oh yeah, I can read 5 minutes per day. But then it's also easy to just not do it. And so I got a planner, I put it in my planner, I've started writing it down, and I have been following it consistently for the past 2 weeks. And I'm making progress in getting through it, which is what I wanted. But it's one of those things where it's like just 5 minutes per day. That's nothing. But because it's nothing, it's easy to... So again, this concept, yes, I get it. I agree. I understand. Kacia, please take this concept and apply it to something better. Apply it to something that's not a scam.
Talk about your business, right? You have to actually share what you're doing, that they can actually join you. Then they get to determine, this is completely outside of our control, they get to determine if they like you, right? If they vibe with you. The more you that you can be, the better. I am so not for some people. I am so not for some people. Like, you guys, I'm crazy. You guys know this. I'm all over the place sometimes, right? But I'm so right for others, just like you are, right? You are not right for some people. So first they have to know you. They have to know that they can join you. They have to know who you are. And then they get to determine if they like you. You can't control that. And then this trust aspect is, how long will you keep showing up to build their trust? Some people, they meet you right when they see that Instagram story of yours. They're like, oh my gosh, this girl, what she's selling, I trust her instantly. There's something about it. This is the perfect timing. Get me in, sign me up. I want to go. Let's freaking go. Some people, it takes a long time, right? Drop in the chat how long it took you after hearing about the opportunity that you joined to actually join, right? How long? Drop in the chat. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, a year, 6 months, 4 years, 4 months. Okay, you got
all the talk about joining, not how long did it take you to buy the product. How long did it take you to sign up for Beachbody On Demand? How long did it take you to try Shakeology? It's not about the product. And if you watch any anti-MLM content, it's obviously not about the product. It's about building a team. It's about recruiting. It's about getting people to join under you, because that's how you make all your money. But it's just wild to me that with so many people knowing it's not about the product, it's about building a team, because that's where the money is, people are still shilling multi-level marketing as if it's a legitimate business. It's a recruiting machine. Is Shakeology even good? Probably not. That's why she's not in Beachbody anymore and she doesn't use it.
Most of you, this chat is going crazy, but a lot of you guys are saying more than a year, a stupidly long time. I think I just saw it. Was that Amanda? Yeah. Okay, you guys. But how funny is it that when it takes a while for someone to join you, you decide that means you suck at this, or you decide that you're not cut out for this, or you get someone new that comes into your team and they don't have anyone sign up and they're like, oh, I suck at this, but they took a year to sign up. We just have to keep our perspective in check. That while you're working towards building this business that you're so excited about, that while you're here, you're trying to build some freaking confidence, girl. Confidence that's gonna serve you in every single aspect of your life. That's amazing. What an opportunity you have right in front of you, right? So of course you're gonna doubt yourself. Of course some people are gonna take a freaking year. Look at this chat, you guys. It takes a long time for people to come around. It takes a long time for people to trust you. So how are you gonna be different than everybody out there? You're gonna be consistent. You're gonna keep showing up, because you're not just showing up for your business. You're showing up for the confidence that you're building as a human freaking being. I wish so badly that every single network marketing professional, anyone that does network marketing, I wish that when you started, you had to have a human goal. Okay? Not just a rank goal, not just I want to be celebrated for this, not just I want this much money in my bank account, a human goal. A human goal. When I signed up to start building this business in January of 2014, my human goal was, at the time, I was a 24-year-old who was working in a predominantly male environment, and I was the same personality that I am now, just less confident. Okay, so like I was still like weird, just less confident. My goal was, I'm gonna build this business, and this is gonna be an outlet where I'm gonna learn how to be more me. I'm gonna do things that I'm scared to do. I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna do something that people wouldn't have expected me to do. Holy crap, I'm winning. I truly believe that I crushed this business day one before I ever made $1. Can a lot of people say that? Probably not, unless they have a human-based goal. It wasn't when I went on to earn, I think,
It's interesting that the human-based goal is about her, because I get it. Like, doing something you like does build confidence. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel fulfilled. But it's not like have a self-based goal where in building this business, in building your team, like, here's what I want to accomplish for me. Because when I hear human-based goal, if I hear that a Beachbody coach has a human-based goal, my thought is that it's going to be, I want other people to feel good. I want other people to feel confident and to love themselves, and I'm going to do anything it takes to help get them there. I'm going to give them the tools, and I'm going to offer them a chance to get it, to do it, to go after it, as opposed to, I'm going to show up and be me and go against the grain, and that's why I won, which is fine. I mean, your goal can be whatever you want. Who am I to say? But I just think about how when I started, like, my YouTube channel, yeah, I needed a hobby. I needed something to do other than work, because I was so miserable at my job at the time that I was like, if I don't like get my mind on something else, I'm going to lose it real quick here. But in creating my channel and like thinking about how I wanted to present myself, I had a human-based goal of wanting to build a community and wanting to talk about things, yes, that I was interested in, and I talked about tons of different topics, but at the core of it, at the center of it, it was, I want everyone to feel like they have a place at the table. I want everyone to feel like they belong and they're welcome here. That's, to me, like, I didn't label it as a human-based goal, but I was like, that is my ideal. That is what I want the essence of my channel to be. And so it's interesting that her human-based goal is about her as opposed to helping others, and like why you would get into a fitness business in the first place, because it's something you're passionate about and you want to help people with your skills while still getting better and building confidence and building your own skills, but also bringing other people into that to serve them.